Most people overpay for products like this. Here's why this one is different. If you're shopping for a PTZ camera that actually delivers without breaking the bank, the PTZOptics Move SE 20X is worth a hard look. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've had the chance to test a lot of PTZ cameras over the years, and the Move SE stands out because it doesn't cut corners where it matters most. One of the biggest headaches when working with PTZ cameras is dealing with different outputs and compatibility issues. Whether you're streaming to YouTube, running a live event, or setting up a multi-camera production, this camera gives you the flexibility to switch between HDMI, SDI, USB, and IP outputs without needing a separate converter or adapter. That's huge if you're working with different switchers or software and don't want to deal with compatibility headaches. I've used it with OBS's vMix, and even a Blackmagic ATM switcher, and it just works, no fuss, no extra gear. This kind of versatility is a game changer for anyone who needs to adapt to different production environments or switch between different software and hardware setups. The 20x optical zoom is another standout feature that really impressed me. It's smooth and responsive, which makes a real difference when you're framing shots remotely. I've zoomed in on a speaker across a large room and adjusted the framing without losing focus or clarity. The zoom is also surprisingly quiet, which is important if you're recording in a quiet space or doing a live podcast where you don't want distracting motor noises. The auto-tracking feature is also surprisingly accurate, and it's been a lifesaver during long streams or live events where I couldn't be behind the camera tweaking settings. It locked onto me as I moved around the room during a test run, and I was able to walk around freely without having to constantly adjust the camera manually. Image quality is solid thanks to the CMOS sensor, especially in well-lit environments. Colors look natural, and the low-light performance is decent for a camera at this price point. I've used it in a dimly lit conference room, and while it's not a full-frame cinema camera, it held up well without looking grainy or washed out. The move to 1080p might seem like a step back for some, but for most streaming and recording applications, it's more than sufficient. Plus, the smaller file sizes make it easier to work with, especially if you're dealing with limited storage or bandwidth. If you're streaming or recording in a controlled setting, you won't be disappointed. One thing I really appreciate is the build quality. The Move SE feels sturdy, not like some flimsy plastic PTZ that wobbles with every movement. The pan and tilt mechanisms are quiet too, which is a big deal if you're recording in a quiet space or doing a live podcast where you don't want distracting motor noises. I've also found the remote control app to be intuitive. It's not bogged down with unnecessary features, just straightforward controls for adjusting focus, zoom, and position. This makes it easy to use, even for those who aren't tech-savvy. The app also allows for multiple camera control, which is useful if you're setting up a multi-camera production and need to manage multiple PTZ cameras at once. Another aspect that sets the Move SE apart is its ease of use. I've worked with PTZ cameras in the past that required a PhD in engineering to set up and operate. But the Move SE is surprisingly user-friendly. The on-camera controls are simple and intuitive, and the remote control app makes it easy to adjust settings and frame shots remotely. This makes it perfect for solo operators or small production teams who need to get up and running quickly without a lot of fuss. Now, it's not perfect. The USB output is limited to 1080p, so if you're hoping to use it for 4K streaming, you'll need to stick with HDMI or SDI. Also, the auto-tracking isn't flawless. It can occasionally lose track if the subject moves too fast or if there's a lot of background movement. But for the price, these are minor trade-offs. You're not getting a $5,000 broadcast camera here, but you're getting 80% of the functionality for a fraction of the cost. And let's be real, most of us aren't working on multi-million-dollar productions where every little detail matters. We just need a reliable camera that gets the job done, and the Move SE delivers. If you're in the market for a PTZ camera that's versatile, reliable, and won't empty your wallet, the PTZOptics Move SE 20X is a smart pick. It's got the outputs you need, solid image quality, and features that actually make your life easier. The price point is also very competitive, especially considering the features and build quality you're getting. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, this camera is definitely worth considering. The link is below if you want to take a closer look.